Hey CSZN fans, man are we stoked to bring you a new season. So let's get right to our winter 2021 lineup. Mondays at 7 p.m. starting February 8th is our brand new a cappella karaoke competition show, Karaoke, the search for the most okay karaoke singer.
12 contestants, 3 mentors, one hell of a good time. This is karaoke.
My daddy said, stay away from Juliet.
And just know I'm not your friend or anything. Damn, you
Wish that I was somewhere with you.
I'm really proud of her for just going for it and putting it all out there. It was if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, my home.
Join judges Elisa Carlson, Heather Scholl, and Dan Krackhart, and your host, Justin Swinson, as they search to find the most okay karaoke singer. And your vote is going to help decide who wins, so we definitely need you to tune in.
Toss, check my names. Baby, how you doing? Feeling good as hell. Jack, toss, check my names. Baby, how you feel?
Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. our minor league is back, baby. Captains to the screen.
Yeah.
Great. For the game of Left Hand Larry, we are going to need a bunch of things that can be in categories.
Turner and Hooch.
saving Mr. Banks.
Yep.
He's done so many good movies. Kelly.
Oh, me? I said it already. You didn't hear it.
Great. Kate.
Introducing Mr. Rita Wilson.
Who got the 5 points?
The blue team.
Okay, because you said boss.
I know. Blue UV. I'm so sorry.
I look and 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 I look.
Welcome everyone to One Shots, your evening of long form improv meets RPGs. Tonight's game is going to be Exquisite Crimes. I am your game master, Susan. It is a delight to be with you all. I hope that you are enjoying the aesthetic of this evening. It's going to be very spooky, very moody, very goth, if you will. What you're about to see tonight, you're going to see a one shot. A one shot is an RPG game that will begin and end tonight. You're going to walk through a variety of emotions. You're going to see giggles. You're going to see capers. You're going to see spooky things as our wonderful, fantastic, and talented improvisers play this game. They're basically going to be characters the entire time. Every now and then, I'll say, hey, you need to roll that dice, at which point in time they'll roll the dice, and the success or failure of their activity will be based entirely upon whether or not they succeed at that dice roll. Again, tonight's game is Exquisite Crimes, written by Richard Marple. I found this game on DriveThruRPG, and it caught my attention because the opening line was, be goth, solve crimes. And I was like, yep, that's the one for us tonight. So I hope you enjoy that. And Richard, wherever you are, thanks for writing this very fun and silly little game. To give you all a little sense of how folks play this is all of these characters have things that they're particularly talented at. They are either very deathly, they're very exquisite, or they're very sharp. And as they try to do something, I'll say roll that dice, and they'll either roll 1, 2, or 3 d6s. And that total score has to beat the difficulty that I establish for something. If they fail, their doom count goes up by 1. Once they hit a doom count of a total number that I have decided in my head and not shared with our actors this evening, death will come for them. But they'll probably still get to play the game. But death will come for them. And we'll have to see what happens. But let's go ahead and get ready to jump into things. We are now turning the clocks back a little bit and we are in the beautiful city of Chicago, but it is 1993. We are in the Neo Bar, home to all things goth and spooky in the city of Chicago, back before Lincoln Park got souped bougie with Insomnia Cookie and Urban Outfitters. Neo was a dive bar par excellence where you went when you wanted to listen to great music, think deep thoughts, and brood and have feelings. And so we'll take it back in time, we'll set ourselves here, and we'll meet some of the local patrons. So first bar patron, go ahead and come aboard. Let's see who we're gonna meet at the bar. Oh, hello there, Urian. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, thank you for asking. I, of course, to you am Urian Deep, only surviving heir to the Deep family fortune. All the other Deeps, after my father died in a tragic house fire, but only after they buried me alive. But I survived, climbing my way out. Or did I? Did I make it out?
Well,
Sorry, what?
You're here, so
Am
I
I?
assume so.
No!
Well, yes.
Nothing is feasting upon my flesh. I'm here, of course, enjoying your fine libations.
Oh, I think you might have been overserved, Urian, but we'll come back to you in just a second. Our next bar patron, go ahead and step forward. Oh, Sasha, good to see you. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the fine folks.
Hi, I'm Sasha Gutbath. I'm recently retired from running a gem shop around the corner. And I am
didn't I think I bought like a big hunk of crystal from you.
Oh yeah, you bought the scorpion amulet. I remember you.
I did.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm now that I'm retired, there's nothing left to do. I'm just biding my time, waiting to die.
Oh, well, I mean, that's pretty hardcore. I mean, I'm with dark thoughts like that, you belong at the Neo.
Been dreaming about it for the longest time, and finally it's coming. Can't wait.
Wow, that is perhaps the gothiest thing we may hear this entire evening. But we'll see. On to our next bar patron. Oh, hello there, Vinyl. Vinyl, go ahead and chat with the folks, if you will. Don't keep us behind that air of mystery I know you like to cultivate so much.
Good evening. I'm Detective Vinyl Crymore, and I have a darkness in my soul that you only get with trying to find stolen cars.
I mean, sometimes you just never see those Toyota Corollas again.
They're in the lake, I know it. Let's dredge the lake.
I mean, Vinyl, in all honesty, who knows what horrible, spooky things we'd find. Well, Vinyl, we'll come back to you in just a second. We'll come back to you in just a moment. And our next bar patron. Oh.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello. Hi. My name is Count. Oh. And tell me. And Count Raven Cafe.
Oh. Have you always looked like that, Count Cafesi?
No, this happened in Detroit. I followed the Thrill Kill cults on tour once, and I met a really cool person. I thought was my friend, and they offered me a drink and said, "Don't worry, this is great stuff." Little did I know it was some kind of potion to turn anyone that drank into a living cat.
So you're a cat person. You're a person who is indeed a cat.
Yeah. I'm a cat, but I shed. I get really. I have a lot of fun on catnip. I like tuna a lot more than I ever did before. I was more of a vegetarian, but now I really enjoy a good tuna melt.
Well, Raven, I'm glad you've been able to find the silver lining on this. That's really great to know. And our final bar patron, go ahead and step forward.
Oh, great. I got to follow Catface. Fantastic.
What did I do?
It is I, the Midnight Counter. You all know me.
The midnight counter.
The Midnight Counter. I shall count things until midnight. And then once the clock strikes again, I will continue counting. You all probably know my father. He was a bit of an addictive to the counting game, and I have inherited some of his skills. I, of course, work for the most evil coffee corporation, Dark Matter, counting their beans on a daily basis. But in my spare time, I like to solve crimes.
Well, it's I'm glad to have you here. And actually, Midnight Counter, we'll go ahead and jump straight into a little moment, a little snapshot, if you will, here at the Neo Bar with you. You're actually behind the piano, plunking away.
Fantastic.
Because I believe last time I checked, you play for the Cure cover band Young Men Occasionally Weep.
I do, for young men do occasionally weep. I do cover on the pianos. And we'll play a few other jaunty tunes, but mostly just of The Cure. But yes, I hope you enjoy. I'll take requests, but I'll happily ignore them.
Great. So Midnight Counter, you're standing there, sort of wrapping things up on the set, and one of the bar staff comes up to get you your comped drink. She looks remarkably like me, except more attractive, and walks over and then accidentally knocks off a whole things of napkins, and they float down to the ground. What do you do?
Oh, heavens. I have to count them. I have to. They've fallen. I need to count them. Do I have permission to count?
Oh.
Do I need to roll?
No, you immediately start counting, and the bartender's like, ooh, shoot,
1, 2, 3.
sorry, Count, I know that's a thing of yours. I'm pretty sure that's a full stack, so there's probably 25 in there.
Barkeep, I do not trust you. I will count, and I will let you know. Don't worry. It's part of my midnight counting.
All right. Well, I've never met somebody like you. I mean, how, you play the piano, you count things for fun, and you solve crimes. How did you get into the crime-solving game?
Well, it's just a little, I don't want to get into it, but since you asked.
I did ask.
I'm haunted by a dead lover, but I don't know why she is dead. And so I've taken upon myself, for the cops and certain detectives aren't doing their job. So I, as a normal citizen who just happens to be a bean counter and also a fine pianist, have to take it into my hands to figure out who killed my lover, my one and only Marge. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Barkeep
5.
sort of shakes her head and says, "Well, I'll leave you to your counting.
Thank you. I messed up. 1,
you can
2.
just play How Soon Is Now, maybe before the place shuts down.
Once I'm done counting, barkeep, but how soon is now? I know that one. 1, 2.
Okay,
3,
great.
4, 5, 6.
All right, and we'll shift over. Speaking of certain shifty detectives, Vinyl, I imagine you're at the bar, notebook in hand, trying to think of ways to dredge that lake and where someone could have put that Ford Focus, that pesky Ford Focus that they stole from Wicker Park. As you sit down, the barkeep, who looks remarkably like me, except with more luscious hair, turns around and says, Vinyl, any big cases this week?
Lost a child today. Minnie Cooper went missing in Avondale.
Oh,
and
I'm so
damn it, it was only a year old. Still had the sticker on it.
Oh, I know that's hard. I know you really take auto theft very, very seriously.
We'll get those.
Say, do you
SOBs.
think you're ever gonna solve human crimes, or mostly just stick to cars?
It's a hobby of mine. In order to decompress from the vehicular carnage I see daily, is to solve human crimes. Bags of flesh, sans oil and upholstery, radios, tape decks, just normal, boring humans. That's how I deal with the stressors of my real job, my real life. So I do a little true crime podcast on the side.
That's
Ham radio broadcast.
ham radio midnight. I think we're showing Coast to Coast the other night. That's great.
Yeah. Some real child's been missing. I don't want to get into it. It's not very interesting.
It's probably not as interesting. Well, I think actually that there's a there's a Fiat that has a boot around the corner. I just wanted to let you know, but I'll leave you to your drinks and your unwinding.
I'm up to 200 napkins.
Oh, that's great. Right before the bartender leaves, Vinyl, she notices that you have a mixtape out on the counter, and she goes to make a grab for it. What would you like to do?
Hey, take it. I've got plenty. My cousin works for Metrex.
Sort of flips it and looks at it and is like, these are...
It's all covers of the Smiths, This Charming Man. And I did the B-side. The B-side's all me doing different covers of This Charming Man. I think you'll like it.
She opens it and sees that the label is loose a little bit and starts to tear it slowly open, and she notices it's just actually a cassette of The Police. And she just stops and looks at you and is like, I mean, mainstream music's fine, and slides it back.
Don't stand so close to me right now.
Great. Sasha, you are at, I can only imagine, the opposite end of the bar. A bartender who looks remarkably like me, except with darker eyeliner, is off at a distance, washing our drinks, etc. But you notice a young man, a younger Goth, is just sort of staring at you from the corner, just with wide eyes.
Yeah, that's my ex-boyfriend. His name is Callum. I've dated everyone. Everybody walks into the gem shop and they fall in love with me. And I dated them all and I've left them all behind. Back off, Callum!
Oh, he startles and is like, I thought...
He knows. He knows it's not gonna happen. Again.
I'm sorry. He slowly slinks forward and just drops like a handful of like tiger's eye in front of you. It's like, I just it hurts to look at them. I just want you to have them, please.
Leave them there. I'll see what I can do with them.
No, okay. I need you to know I still think about you every night. And then he zips off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Anybody wants a tiger's eye?
The bartender turns around and is like, "Oh, actually, I really enjoy those stones."
There you go.
Oh, thanks. These are great. Say, is that a former paramour of yours?
Yeah, they all are. Everyone who walks in here has had a piece of me, and I've had a bigger piece of them.
Well, hey, good for you, Sasha. You're what are you? Are you 60 yet?
I'm 64.
Sasha.
64 years old.
And she goes, up high.
Cut that out.
You're right. I deserve that.
I do not high five. That's how I got this old and look this young. No high fives.
She apologizes by putting another bottle of Jack Daniels down in front of you and walks off. She slides down to the bar where Urian, you are having a very intense conversation with a man wearing a stovetop pipe, a hat, and a delightful vest. And the guy has been just regaling you with stories of his family business. And he says, well, back in the days, the key thing is to find a good strong horse to pull your cart. If you find a good strong horse, you'll really just figure it out.
Oh, my half-nephew was trampled to death by a good strong horse.
Oh well, yes,
Yes.
that is a side effect, unfortunately, of doing horse work.
Yes, yes, it is. Of course, his mother, my half sister, was of course found drowned within a locked sauna.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but it sounds very frightening.
Yes.
At this point in
Yes.
time,
Am I here?
the bar. Yes, you're here, of course. Yes. At this point in time, the bartender has walked up to you, and said, "Yeah, you're here. You're not talking to anybody, though. I don't know if that's, which is fine.
Again. It is all right.
Another ghost.
The dead speak to me. Ever since I was buried alive. Did I tell you I was buried alive?
This guy.
You have mentioned it from time to time. It's come up. Yes. Well, Urian, maybe just next time, just
Yes.
double check to see if they're alive before you really dig into the conversation.
The worms aren't in my eye?
No worms. Just maybe use a better conditioner.
Maybe tequila then.
There we go. She grabs a bottle of tequila and puts it down in front of you. Catverse, you are actually in the bathroom, I believe, swatting at the paper towel holder. Just batting away at it. At which point in time, a young pipsqueak comes in and goes, "Ugh, dude, it's fucking gnarly."
I know. Why don't they just give us towels? Why would they just have these dangling papers, teasing us, mocking us?
Oh, damn, you're in it. I've often told my friends, I feel like, human look is totally over. The key thing is to just go straight for the merger of beast and man, and you're like doing it.
It was not by choice, youngling. I am cursed by a mysterious stranger from a concert that I went to in Detroit. It was a really good concert. I'll tell you that right now. Good concert. My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult put on a show.
They're great.
Put on a show,
They're great.
man.
Fantastic performers. Absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah. Consummate performers. Like they're just so professional. You'd think they'd be creepy, but backstage they were like, "Oh, thanks for coming to the show. I'm so glad to see you. Hey, what happened to your face?" They were very concerned. Put up a lot of, it was nice. It was nice. They say don't meet your heroes.
This is just permanent? You're always doing that.
Oh yeah. This ain't going away. I've seen doctors. Basically, the entire structure of my body has been changed, and so the extent to which I would need to be operated on is just unaffordable, especially in the year of our Lord 1993. It's just astronomical what they're asking for. I'd have to box myself and then get. Do you know what boxing is?
I make pennies at Radio Shack. Well, hey, I like your look though. The whole thing is
just Blockbuster.
It really ties it together. Oh, really? That's great. Oh wait, the one just down off of in Avondale?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I'm a night manager.
As you all are having this lovely and delightful conversation, back out in the larger bar, Sasha, you hear it first. There is what looks to be just sort of your standard art student, right? Big, bunch of patches of hair, paint, a couple of piercing. There's just a couple of stools down from you. Just goes, just really starts coughing, like they sort of can't get something out of their throat.
Hey, barfing up a hairball, kid. Do it somewhere else.
At which point in time, they do another, and a glob of blue paint hits the bar.
Well, kid, what'd you do? Did you eat a merry-go-round?
They told me if I said the words I'd get talent, but I don't feel so good.
At which point in time the person takes 2 steps backwards, and all of a sudden they hack up again, and just a huge glob of paint falls down on the ground. They immediately fall down to the ground, pass out, and you see suddenly the blob of paint starts to materialize in the form of a person. It picks up a chair and looks like it's about to throw it at you. What would you like to do?
I mean, I would like to identify him and let him know that, and remind him of the time we dated.
Absolutely. He does indeed bear a passing resemblance to someone that you used to know. In the words of Gautier, who probably wasn't born then. So roll with sharp. So yeah, roll with sharp. What is that? Which of is that your best stat, your middle stat, or your worst stat?
That's my best stat.
Okay, great. So you're going to try to identify him, and I will put the difficulty at that at we'll say it's a 7. So roll 3 dice, and if you get a total of over 7, this will be a success.
4, 6. I'm already over 7.
Great. It starts to materialize, and you think, wait a minute, that looks a little bit like Jerry, who used to manage the KFC just down the road from the gem shop. Just as you start to take a step to make a comment, you yell out, now having recognized him,
Jerry, buddy, don't do. You owe me.
It startles enough that it sort of stops for a minute and goes to put the chair down, but then turns away from you. At this point in time, Vinyl, it's now looking directly at you, and you watch it split into 2 figures. It's now starting to surge over the top of the bar towards you. What would you like to do?
First, I'll exclaim, Midnight Crystal from the Isuzu Rodeo in 1983. They discontinued that color. Wow. Living. I don't believe it. I'd like to grab each one of their heads and smash them together.
Okay, great. So roll with deathly on that. Because it's a paint creature, I'm going to put this at a 12.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so you go to try to grab for one, at which point in time your hand goes straight through the thing's head, and you can just feel it starting to burn your arm, and you yank it out, and it's still standing there. Now it's sort of a convenient sort of like hole-shaped gap where its head used to be. Your doom has increased by 1. And it's standing there looking a little irritated. The second one at this point in time has split off and is glooping paint all over the napkins that you just counted. You just counted them. There were 249 midnight counter. You knew exactly how many there were. Yeah. And now there's a creepy paint figure who is surging towards you. What would you like to do?
Well, first off, I'd like to exclaim, there are 2 blue people here. 2 blue people. I would like to...
It splits off, and now there's 3.
There's 3 blue people. Hang on. A 1, a 2, a 3 blue people. I would like to run to the back room, because I know where it is, and get some paint thinner to throw upon the blue people.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say that is exquisite, because that's sort of moving quickly.
Oh gosh, my worst.
Yeah, this should hypothetically be easy. It's just a quick jaunt to the back room. So beat a 5.
Okay, so how many times I got to roll?
You roll so if that's your worst stat, you roll 1 die.
Okay, 6-sided?
Yep.
Cool. Oh no, I got a 1. Oh no.
Oh, midnight counter. You go to whip around to turn for the back room, and unfortunately, because they are all over the ground where you just counted them, you slip on those napkins.
Oh boy.
What does it look like as you go down?
Oh, it's very comical. My feet do the shaggy thing where it's like, and then I fly up and I land on my piano, so it makes a dun 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 dun, and then I collapse.
Clang.
Love that
Yeah, you nailed the crap out of the back of your head. There's a huge thunking noise.
Yeah.
You're sort of sprawled on top of it.
And the napkins are
figure is
everywhere.
now, yeah, they're everywhere. Who knows? You may never be able to count them again. You're sprawled out. It's not looking good for you. Cafese, having heard the scuffle of you've walked out of the men's room and are now looking at this scene, what would you like to do?
I see the blue devils that stand before me, and one seems to have the visage of the one who cast me. So I decide to walk over in a leisurely manner and start a fight with my big claws.
Great, I love that. So you're looking to start the fight. Just get into a scrap with him, right?
A little cat fight.
Okay, then I'll say roll with deathly, and if you just want to basically get his attention, you just need to beat a 4 on that.
Okay. Now with my deathly, I roll with 3
Great. So if it's your number 1 stat, you roll with 3.
Ah, yeah.
3d6.
I'm gonna roll, baby. Ooh, that's a 10.
Ooh, easily beats it. So you walk over. Describe to me what it looks like as you start this scrap.
Yes,
with this character.
like I said, I just kind of I get over and I ease my red claws toward them, and I tip tap their blue devil, and I say, I don't appreciate you making a mockery of this establishment. It is one of my favorites. And then I scratch them.
Great. We'll say that this happens first. As you again do the ting 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 ting, you see the paint head just sort of swivels on the body, right? It just like flips and turns, so it's looking now directly at you, and you see the other third figure that is essentially basically just sort of like absorbed some poor yet another X of Sasha's. You can decide which one it was, Sasha. Maybe it was Callum, maybe it wasn't.
Oh no, that's Dick Van Dyke. He and I dated back in the 70s.
I love
it. He didn't want anyone to know, and that was rude, so I broke up with him. I'm nobody's secret.
I mean, nor should you be. It makes perfect sense. You watch again as this additional figure essentially sort of like absorbs the very wizened figure of Dick Van Dyke, who's been trying to figure out a way to win your heart back, and as a result has been coming to a goth bar in Chicago for years. It just sort of gets absorbed into this thing of paint, and it slinks back over and glorms back onto the first one and goes. And now you can just see it sort of getting bigger and bigger as it sort of lords over you, Cafese. Urian, are you doing anything right now?
I am in a reverie, for I am not used to seeing blue lips without the cyanidic smell of almond liqueur. And I am moving forward towards it, because I believe it is something I have seen in the Incantatum Obscura by Aleister Crowley's personal demon and housemaid, and letting my deathly aura extend towards it.
Okay. So you're essentially sort of making a threat as only Urian can.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say that you're rolling with deathly, and since you again are using your potential eldritch knowledge to see if you can identify this bad boy, what is your intent? Do you want to try to stop it? Do you want to get its attention? Tell me what you're hoping might happen right now.
As I'm moving forward, it's either going to envelop me as death should, or completely diminished, as my aura diminishes it instead, which is always a disappointment.
All right, so you wanna win a standoff. I would say in that case, we will have you shoot to beat a 10. So yeah, roll with deathly, add your talent.
All right. All 4 then?
Yep.
All right. A 6 and a 4 and a 4 and a 2.
As you start to walk forward, the thing, as you can see, just starts to like flatten out. It's almost like it responds to you, and it starts to sort of like stack up. It doesn't look like a figure anymore as much as just a wall of paint. It's sort of pivoted off and away from Cat Face, and you sense now finally you're going to put an end to all of this when suddenly over your left shoulder goes a spray of club soda, ricocheting from the bartender who has the gun up. It hits the middle of the paint and it immediately starts to break apart because, as we all know, club soda is the cure-all for any stains. And it just sort of dissolves down to the ground. So that one is done. However, there are two more still in the bar. Sasha, one of them is menacing yet another one of your exes, one of the younger ones in the corner. And then Midnight Counter, another additional one is heading now for your drummer. What would you all like to do?
Oh, you can kill my ex.
Fair. Your ex, you see it's Stanley, right?
Wait, let me look. No, that's Ben Stiller.
Sasha, wait, no. Oh, I love you. I need you to know that I love you. He's reaching out to you. What do you do?
Absolutely nothing.
Great. Yep, he is absorbed by the paint monster.
Overdue. Overdue.
Great. Yep. All right. Midnight Counter. Your drummer's in danger. What would you like to do?
Well, I love my drummer, and a good drummer is hard to find by. But luckily, I know right below my piano where I fell, there is a secret button that opens a trap door. So I'd like to open that trap door and let that paint monster fall on down.
Great. We will have you roll with Sharp.
Okay.
Because of your knowledge of this aforementioned button, and we'll say, yeah, give me an 8. You can hit an 8.
Great. Oh. 12, baby!
Yeah, conveniently, because it's a complex place with a lot of like sort of like big elaborate set pieces to really sort of make the dry smoke needs to well up. You hit that button and it the stage door goes open and the paint just sort of sinks down to the bottom and sort of melts away. Count Cafese and Vinyl, you all are now essentially sort of standing near one another, and you see that this paint monster is just tearing through the rest of Sasha's exes and does not appear to be checked by anyone. What would you all like to do?
I'd like to, I'll take a big swig of my whiskey soda, and then I'll throw down a neon sign. I'll grab it from the wall, and I'll throw it under the paint monster. And then I'll hiss the lyrics to Roxanne, the only one I can remember, the name Roxanne, and I'll spittle it with my delicious whiskey soda. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. So we'll say roll with Deathly on that. Make sure to add an additional bonus die because you're hissing, so it's very frightening. And beat an 8. Yeah.
Oh yeah, demolished an 8.
Great. Which neon sign was it?
It was the it was the.
Did you know there are 10 neon signs in this bar? 10, I tell you.
About to be 9.
It was the Pabst Blue Ribbon, but just the Pabst in cursive, not the other Pabst Blue Ribbon sign.
Yes.
Great. Can we hear your best hiss of Roxanne so we can get just a real feel for what would have happened?
Roxanne! Roxanne! Lights! Roxanne!
Yeah, so the minute that you do that, it turns around because it really can't identify what the fuck that was. At which point in time you smash the neon sign down into the paint, and you see the electrical current shock up and into it, and it just sort of completely disembodies, collects as a pool into the ground, and it seems for the moment that calm has returned to the bar. You turn around, and the bartender is up on the bar with her squirt gun ready to go. There's just, and as the paint dissipates, you just see like six bodies of Sasha's
Oh, that's a lot.
just
they're naked.
standing there.
Yeah, why are they
butts.
naked?
I'm
They're
glad
butts
I'm
now.
not dead yet. I would have missed seeing this.
They're all naked.
They're all naked. The
That's
paint's
12.
hanging.
12 cheeks I count. 1, 2.
I mean, if you count them, sure. I mean, that guy, I don't think has anything going on. So.
One of them has 3 cheeks. Keep counting.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Like
It's when you poke at it.
like looking at
The
a
majority
giant
of the-
cleft chin.
Having established that Sasha has a wide range of taste when it comes to derrieres, you all are mostly gathered around there, but just slightly to the left of that is the body of what appears to be the body of the person from whence this came. It looks like this art student is just there and sort of sprawled out down on the ground. What would you all like to do?
I will take this opportunity to draw out his spirit and ask him a few queries as to like what's going on, man.
Wait, hold on, Catface.
Wow.
Is the art student dead? Should we check for a pulse? Oh, okay, cool. I missed that part. Yeah, Catface, do it.
dead.
Sorry.
I hate to assume. I'm gonna poke the body aggressively in the face. So
Nothing.
should I roll for that?
No. Yep. You've been successful. It's just a body.
It's just about okay. So I roll, and no, I didn't roll, and I take one claw and I just dig it real hard in the face, and it just kind of starts like when you like warm butter and a knife. The knife is just kind of like room temp, and it's just like, whoa! I didn't. Gross.
The bartender reaches across the bar and hands you a bar rag and is like, maybe just leave the bodies alone.
I just wanted to be sure. Thank you very much for the rag. That's very kind of you.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Say, were you just about to summon the spirit of that dead body?
Yeah, I was. It's something I do. After the coming this.
Catface, just do it already.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna talk to this body here. It's my dark power. My dark power rose.
You can just do it. What it looks like as you summon the spirit of this dead body.
So I summon the spirit of the dead body by clicking the back. Look at my tongue just so, and I twiddle my fingers, my little red devil claws. And as I do that, the face that I just created a third eye in the middle of the forehead, and you can kind of see the bone. There's this kind of undulating, much like when it was puking up the blue. It goes, and this very beautiful mist. Whatever is beauty to thee, it starts emanating from the mouth, because the human soul is truly a thing to behold, and it slowly lurches forward, and then it takes a typical human shape. You'd think it'd be something more angelic, but it's like, as schlubby as the body, but with clothes on. And it just stands there and it goes,
pretty standard.
Yeah, and it just stands there and goes, oh, not dead, bro.
May I answer it?
It's just standing there, so whoever would like to ask it questions can go for it. Yeah.
I don't want to ask it a question. I'd like to just recite a poem about this beautiful thing.
Well, please do.
In my hand, there sits a diamond as clear as ice and yet as dark as night. This diamond is you.
And you see the hand passes straight through yours. And it's like, whoa. Oh, man. I knew I should have just put in some extra time into the assignment. You think to yourself, you take some shortcuts, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I tried everything. I tried Ritalin. I tried really just trying to get into the zone. At the end of the day, I never should have gone for that crazy incantation to give me powers. I guess it didn't work, huh?
Who gave you this cantation? A departed student.
Oh, yeah, that's my friend Cornflower. She's a student at SciAC like me. She found this book that was supposed to help with inspiration. It was some gnarly shit. And so, I don't know, we made like a thing of it. And, I guess
They
it was a
got
little
that
bit
book at
serious
my
in the
bookstore.
Sasha, did you sell that book to these dumb students?
I did. You know, money's money, Midnight Counter.
I
Count
get
it.
it. I will, and I will later. But for now, we must avenge this fallen student. Are we all in? Will we work together, team?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Measure twice, cut once. I'm sorry, I was also speaking to the dead, but they don't tell me things that are useful.
I'm not gonna do it, but I will summon some crows to help you.
Oh,
Student.
I like.
How did you get here? Did you drive?
Me?
No, I took the CTA.
And where is your comrade, your partner?
Cornflower?
Cornflower's probably still at the museum. We did the seance, and then then a bunch of the mists sort of popped up, and then I don't know, it kind of got loud, and I just thought, I'm gonna get out of here and get a drink, and well,
You gotta
guess
find
now
the
I'm
other
dead.
girl.
Is Cornflower, is she about this tall, dark hair with one purple stripe?
Yeah, she just dyed it purple last month.
I dated her.
Jeez, Sarge.
Wait,
Wow.
you were the
Like
cougar?
I just don't know who you haven't bedded.
I mean, not many, friend.
Not me, I'm married to the job.
That's
Well,
fair.
I'm just gonna keep floating around here, wondering if there's an afterlife. But if you guys maybe want to avenge my death, that'd be real great. Maybe head over to the museum.
Yeah, which dead student. First off, what is your name?
It's Steve.
Oh, I don't like that.
Good
Dead
name,
student?
solid name.
No, bad name, Catface. Dead student.
okay.
We must go. What museum? Do you remember? There are several in this beautiful city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I go to SciAC. That's the School of the Art Institute of Chicago.
I know. I just want to make sure. You just said museum.
That's true. You did not specify. Student.
Thank you, Catface.
Student Steve. I want to say that.
Oh, no,
Did you know
I'm
you?
being drawn towards the light.
Oh, bye-bye. Enjoy. If it's a good place, give us a thumbs up in our dreams.
That is a party bus I have longed to board.
He dissipates into the ether.
I don't think he got that last part then.
Then
let's rip off his clothes so he looks like the rest of them.
Make our way, shall we?
At which point in time, as you start to go for it, the bartender again just one hits you in the back of the head with a little bit of seltzer and goes, "Nope."
Cool.
Leave them be. The dead need to be respected. I believe you all have a caper to solve.
we gotta go find this cornflower. To the museum?
Yeah.
Should we set aside our differences and go to this museum?
I think so. I'm a pretty reasonable guy. Is somebody driving? That's the real question.
Fine. We can take my van.
VW.
Well, if it's a
bus.
van.
It's a van. Barkeep, may I keep my instruments here for the night until we solve this murder?
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of all of this." And seems very, very calm as she goes about sort of cleaning all the rest of this up. Urian, you see something just before you leave. What do you see?
Oh, what I see is, of course, all of the ghosts that I had seen before and the visions. They were looking to the spot where all the bodies were, and they're just sort of going and nodding their heads. and in that moment I am overcome with a physical sensation, and I can't recall if it is the memory of being buried alive or a memory of being with Sasha.
It
They're very
wasn't. You
similar.
were not with me.
Then it was buried alive. I've been told they're similar.
That's
All right.
fair. Okay.
They are similar.
You all pile into the van. There's a swipe cut, at which point in time you all arrive to the outside of the Art Institute of Chicago. Things that you notice.
Remember,
first
we're
and
parked
foremost is
outside the Bennigans.
Okay.
There you go.
Right.
Hopefully you put enough change in the meter, because again, this is 1993, so there's no convenient app.
I dated one of
so
the valets, and he's gonna do us a solid.
Oh,
Nice.
Let's hope
And
he's there.
finally,
You
you're
all
hooked
pull
to
up. You pull up, and the building is surrounded by police cars. And you look, and on the steps you see a variety of other bodies, and you see just like trails of paint, just huge swaths of paint coming down the steps. What would you all like to do? It's just paint, but the paint is indeed naked.
Being somewhat filled with ennui for this whole scene, I shall try to sharply, knowledgeably trace a sigil from the malefic darkhold of the Elder Cathon to try and trace the path that would best lead us in to find this cornrow head.
Flower.
Okay, so you're hoping to reveal a hidden entrance. So roll with sharp. Add 1 die for your again your eldritch knowledge.
Yes.
I'm gonna say you need to beat a 12 on this. There's a lot of
12. Oh my. All right. That is a 6 and a 5 and a 3.
Ooh, there we go. So as you draw the runes in the air, you notice a sudden wind blows through, and there appears to be sort of a side door open where there is a figure standing there, a security guard who looks very nervous. And just as you sort of look over, he locks eyes with Sasha and goes, "Sasha?
Yeah.
Come back
again."
It's me.
Damn, Sasha.
How are you, Howard?
He immediately walks over and is like, "Oh God, I feel so much better now that you're here. I mean, I know we haven't talked in a few years, but I can't stop thinking about you. All right, I'm sorry. I know it's not gauche for me to talk about my feelings, but I can't get my mind off of you. I had a near brush with death, and I'm just glad I feel like this is a sign. This is a sign we should be together."
Oh, Howard. I mean, I feel like it might be, right? I'm just waiting to die, and everyone around me is dying tonight, except you. Here you are.
Sasha, are you trying to distract Howard so that your friends can get into the
Yeah.
building? Okay, great. So you're gonna roll with sharp because he loves you. This will only be a 5.
I only got a 4.
Oh, no.
She's losing it.
Yeah, so he really is. He's in there. He's connecting. He's making eye contact, and the rest of you are doing, I'm assuming, sort of the Scooby sneak to try to get by him. Cafese, normally being half man, half cat would make you particularly adept at this. However, something goes horribly wrong. What is it?
Oh, well, what you can't see because my camera is my exceptionally beautiful tail. It's very excitable, and it, well, to put it frankly, I trip on it by stepping one paw down and then another paw, and I frighten myself, nearly defecating all over this step because of my sheer stomping force. And I just, and then I flip forward, landing on my back, because you know what? It's a myth that cats land on their feet. And I scream, howl that you've only seen in a major motion picture, Cats. And I'd say,
Yes.
"It's an
That is
my curse.
exactly what happens.
Yes, that is what
Down
happens.
to the letter. So the rest of Counter, Vinyl, and Urine, you all are able to sneak through the side door. However, everything that Cafe described happened exactly. And so just as they're about to sneak in, Sasha, Howard breaks eye contact with you, hearing, again, a grown man scream, "The police!" And looks over and sees Catface laid out on the ground. He immediately goes for his big maglite flashlight. What would you like to do?
I'd like to summon a murder of crows to redistract him.
All right, you can do it. This is your big moment. Tell me what it looks like as the crows come in and distract him. As I wipe tears away from my eyes.
I pull both hands in front of my face and make the magic summoning wavings. And off in the distance, while Mephistopheles is just barely faded from our oral passages, we hear something rising in the distance. From the east, the lake, we see what looks like a storm cloud, but it's not. It's a murder of crows. It comes in, it circles the soldier field, comes north, and lands on the steps, covering it so that there is not a open space for people to observe. Howard understands that this is a problem.
Absolutely. He immediately, upon hearing this, also of note, some of these are crows. Some of them are just really like punk-looking pigeons that will just totally fuck someone up. He grabs his maglite and is like, "Oh, Sasha, I have to take care of this. Please, don't go anywhere. Please, don't leave me again." And then he sprints off. I'm assuming that you all enter into the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to. We gotta get away from
All
these
right,
crows.
Yeah, all of you all are now inside the museum. You see, it looks like the place is under some level of lockdown. A bunch of gates have sort of been dropped here or there. It's sort of, as you get in, you can see sort of the steps. The steps are sort of going up. If you follow them, you'll go to sort of the Impressionists area, and then could go sort of down at the side to sort of the American artists. What you do notice is there are some dead bodies around. Folks just covered in paint. You see a security guard with a gun down at his side. It looks like it's been fired. You see a splatter of paint along the wall. It's pretty chaotic in here. What would you all like to do?
I would like to count these bodies. A 1, a 2, a 3.
And I'd like to observe.
They're 19.
Naked as a jaybird. Nude from the eyes down. And then also I'd like to follow the trail of carnage. I'd like to understand how, based on where they fell, what passed by them and which direction it went.
Right. Roll with sharp, and let's say you have to beat a 6 to get a really good answer.
13.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're a detective. You know how to make this work. So you get a sense that sort of whatever this thing was, basically sort of like came down the stairs, wreaked some havoc. It looks like it kind of slammed up against the doors, but you don't see that it's gone outside, right? So it seems like whatever this is probably still in the museum. Your guess is that it came from the steps, but in general, yeah, it is chaotic and powerful is what you know.
Vinyl, should we split up? 3 go up and 2 go down? Or 2
I'll
go
go
up and 2?
down.
Ha ha, Sasha. You crazy bitch.
I take it all back, Sasha.
I'm just offering to go down the stairs.
Oh, okay.
What? I don't get it.
I offer to go
Okay.
upstairs to see if there's anything missing in the Egyptian wing.
Ooh. I'll go with Sasha downstairs.
I'll go either
Downstairs, okay.
direction. Who needs some
Okay.
assistance? Perhaps towards American classics.
Probably up with Cafese would probably be up in the general direction of the Egyptian wings, which will sort of take you into the main area. Vinyl, where would you like to go?
I'd like to keep heading through the heart of the museum. And I've
Okay,
also
so
pulled out my Saturday night special.
Delightful. So you'll head with Cafese and Urian. We'll follow the midnight counter and Sasha first. You all go downstairs, and it's the bottom floor of the museum. The first thing you notice is there's not as much paint here, which is great. You do see a couple of bodies, though. People sort of these, unlike the rest of them, aren't necessarily covered in paint, but just sort of have this kind of like catatonic stare in their eyes. And you walk over, and you are in the miniature section.
Oh,
It's a bunch of tiny, tiny rooms.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I'm in my wheelhouse here.
I need to walk carefully.
It's dark. It's dark, and there's just a bunch of weirdly lit dollhouses.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I mean, I'm home. This is great. I look in the first one, and the only color paint in there is gold. I look in the second one, and the only color paint in there is gray. But I look in the third one, and it looks like red paint, but it's not. It's blood.
Oh.
You do lean forward, and you realize that there is a streak of blood on the walls of one of the miniatures. You're leaning over it, and you hear a voice behind you, and it's sort of a high-pitched woman's voice, and she's like, "Oh, I see you're admiring my work. Oh, it's so wonderful. So few people have admired my work for a while."
Oh, I mean, indeed we are. This is exquisite work, and congratulations. What's your problem, you crazy bitch?
Is that you, cornflake? Cornflower? Cornflower.
Oh no, I'm not one of the little children. And you notice now, you see standing in front of you a woman sort of in her 60s. She's got her hair up in sort of like a very elaborate bun. If I can multitask, I'll be able to find a picture of her in just a second.
I have a feeling what she looks like.
But upon hearing the words "you crazy bitch," you see her go, oh, that's certainly very strong language to be using in such a wonderful place, in particular with such strangers. Would you all like to make yourselves at home?
No,
Feels like a trap.
Yeah, Sasha, I don't think we were just snooping around. We're gonna head back upstairs, but thank you, owner of the miniature room.
Oh no, please. Make yourselves at home. And then you see the security gate from the door that you just walked in slams to the ground. What would you all like to do?
We would like to see where this goes before we fight. I want to know what she wants to do.
Great. She is walking towards you, and she said, "You, sir, you look like a sturdy fellow. Perhaps the throne room for you." And she reaches a hand out to grab you.
Oh, I don't know. I tried to dodge and block the hand.
Great. Great. Roll with Exquisite.
Oh, shoot.
And I would say
It's my worst one.
You'll have to beat an 8.
With Exquisite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's my worst one, so I only get the one roll. No success. 3.
No success. Great. She latches onto you, and she looks a little something like this. And she grabs strangely, because she feels all of a sudden you just feel cold. You just feel ice cold, and she's grabbing the front of your hoodie. And she said, "Now, it's been such a long time since we've had a sacrifice for the company.
What?
I'm so excited
so excited. Now, let me introduce myself before I send you to your home. I'm Narcissa Knee Blackthorn. I created all the miniatures in this room, and I gave them to the museum, and they live here now, and soon you will too. And she picks you. You're now your feet are clicking in the air. Sasha, you're watching all of this. What do you want to do?
I scream, Narcissa! It's you that I have emulated my entire life. I read about you in one of the first books I ever read, and it made me want to be you. Narcissa, go ahead and kill this guy.
What? Come on, Sasha, no! Sasha! I thought we had something. I know you wait for me to count outside your window. I know.
Yeah, but if I have to choose... Go on.
She turns around and smiles and says, well, we don't need to kill him. We just put him in his place.
My place?
Are you sure? I mean, I don't know. I thought you'd have more cajones.
If you're not stopping her, Rob, you feel all of a sudden it seems like she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you are shrinking
Sasha,
down.
No.
That is badass.
No.
How many inches are you shrinking by, I wonder?
I'll count them off. 50, 49, 48.
You're in, and she puts you actually very gently, just down in sort of this very richly appointed room. It's based off of one of the royal chambers from Europe. Everything actually seems really nice. It's just that you're now in a tiny shrunken museum in the art museum.
I am 1.2 inches tall.
There's lots of things to measure. Sasha, Narcissa now turns around and goes, well, it's lovely to meet someone who's a fan. So you you read about me then, so you know all about my life and how I married the heir to Montgomery Ward. And it probably didn't include in there that I've been sacrificing people and using their life force to sustain our company, and then I put them in the miniatures that I then gave to the Art Institute. This is partially true. So she looks at you and is like, so can I interest you in picking your room on your own, or what can I do for you?
I would like to be your partner in this endeavor and bring you more and more people. Please send criminals out of the museum and I shall bring you back detectives.
Sasha, wait! Sasha! Can you hear me?
Roll for sharp to convince her of this. Are you serious, or are you trying to convince her?
And what do I have to beat?
It depends on whether or not you're trying to trick her, or whether or not this actually seems like a great plan.
And I rolled 3 times, right? Because sharp's my thing.
Yeah. But tell me first, are you
gotcha.
actually excited about this plan, or just trying to trick her?
Well,
be a trick.
For the first time I was just biding my time, waiting to die. No, for the first time in a long time, I'm excited. Let's do this.
Okay, if you're into it, then you just need to beat a 6. She can tell someone who's...
I got a 6, 6, and a 5.
Okay. She says, oh, well, that's wonderful. If you think that you can just convince everyone to come on down here, that sounds great. And she snaps her fingers and the gate lifts. And she's like, well, I have to stay here because my soul is bound to this spot. But go ahead and just bring him on down.
This is gonna be great.
Great. We'll snap forward to our other 3. Don't worry, Midnight Counter. All may not be lost just yet. I'm assuming you all are sneaking about. As you go up the steps, unfortunately, you see there's a lot of gates around, and the paint seems to be leading you sort of more specifically into the main impressionist area. It's getting spooky. The lights are down. What would you all like to do?
I just kind of sniff the air to see if there's any other persons about, using my feline senses. But again, I'm
yeah,
not sharp,
roll-
so
roll plus sharp, and we'll see if you pick up on anything. If you get above a 5, we'll say that you caught a scent.
okay. And this is just a 1. Yeah. I roll a 4. Curses.
Ooh. You take a big deep whiff in, and oh, the smell of pain. Oh, it's so strong. It burns your nostrils. 1 point of doom. And so you're feeling very discombobulated.
Bye.
Urine, what about you?
I pet the cat for a moment, seeming discombobulated, and then I will say, allow me to draw upon my eldritch knowledge to see if I can hear the words I draw upon the hideous laugh track of Cedric the Entertainer.
He's still alive, right?
Yes, but all the people in the laugh track are not.
Oh, no, I get that. Yeah.
As you go to sort of call forward
the magic,
the spirits, you hear sort of a raspy voice of someone who says, "Wow, so much traffic late at night. Usually this place is so quiet. Damn, you'd think dying in an art museum would be boring, but tonight's really made it exciting." And you see a ghost of just a very just a standard Chicagoan guy, kind of standard there. He's got a Bears Letterman jacket on, and is like, "Yeah, the wife made me come here, and I had a heart attack. Just died right in the museum."
Oh yeah,
with the other folks.
I recommend you speak. When I speak to the dead, they usually engage me in trivia. Perhaps he'll say something useful to you.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, did you know how many things that there are in a Chicago-style hot dog? Or that my Uncle Steven works at the Vienna sausage factory.
This is what
No
they tell
way.
me.
My uncle.
There are more important things.
Yeah,
You can get a great lunch there.
Vinyl, what are you doing? You used to be able to, now you can't anymore. It makes me so sad. Vinyl, what are you doing?
I reach into my pocket where I keep a suicide knob that I took off a stolen Skylark, and I got it back to their owner. And I see past the ghost, who doesn't seem to be a threat, and I roll the suicide knob into the darkest part of the museum.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. You see it sort of roll forward, and you hear a thunk noise, and then you hear sort of a creaking noise, and then a poof. It sounds like something like very heavy has hit the ground, and then a shuffling. And the ghost is still detailing you all specifically about his uncle's job in the Vienna sausage factory.
Yes, of course.
This is where I stop the ghost and I say, "Oh, whoa, real quick."
Oh yeah.
You know what? Did this used to be an Egyptian wing, or am I thinking of the museum, the Field Museum? Am I thinking of the Field?
Oh, I think you're thinking of the Field. Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of artifacts, but all those areas are closed. It's mostly just sort of ahead. Another thump noise. It sounds like it's closer this time.
Yes, we need to find this dandelion cornstarch or whatever her name is.
Flower.
Oh,
yes.
The kid with the multicolored hair and the rings out the face.
Yeah.
That one.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, she came screaming something. Looked like something about being haunted or possessed. Just kept screaming and running in the other direction. Another thumping noise.
That way. Towards the
yeah, that way. Towards the dark.
You hear the thump?
I say we go towards it, but before we do, I want to ask this guy. Hey, when did you die here?
Oh yeah, it's 78.
Okay, your car's probably been impounded for snow removal. I hate to tell you.
No, I just got it out of impound. Wait, just tell me, how'd the Bears do?
Oh, they don't do anything till 85.
Wait.
And that's the last time.
But they did something. You're telling me that they did something.
Yeah.
And there was a music video, and it was okay.
It was fun. It was fun.
won?
They did a whole music video about the Super Bowl, and they were like shuffling it between other Super Bowls. And then they said I don't know if you've heard of this. It's an art genre known as rapping, and it's not a present. It is a rhyming form of sing-song.
Oh, this is
Now,
amazing. You're blowing my mind.
They
But
rap
wait,
all of
the Bears won the Super Bowl.
one time.
At which point in time, the heavens open up and a cloud of a beam of light goes down. And he looks and goes, "I'm ready."
Don't ever check back on my dick.
That never happened to me. I don't think it even happened to my half-brother who was mauled by a bear at the Bel Air Drive-In.
You hear another thump, at which point in time you turn and you see coming from the direction of the Impressionist wing. There was just sort of a narrow hallway, but now there's something very large sort of obscuring the hallway. What would you all like to do?
I'm going to run away.
Great. Okay. You run in the opposite direction.
I will walk towards it and go, Mother? Mother?
Okay.
Yeah, same thing. I'll take out another cassette tape that I have on my person, a Maxwell 90-minute, and I throw it into the shape, and I say with it, every little thing she does is magic. It turns me on.
I love it. Okay, roll plus deathly with hiss, and if you hit 13, you'll get a little bonus action. Confesse, you are hiding behind a very large urn.
And I look around the corner. I hope they do well.
No, 7.
Vinyl, how'd you do? 7. So what happens is you whip the cassette tape as hard as you can, and you hear a like thump noise, and you realize as the light comes on, the painting by Charles Surratt in the Art Institute, has come off the wall and apparently is moving forward. Because it's huge, as you whipped the cassette at it, it just sort of springs back off the canvas, and you all are just sort of standing there in front of the painting.
I catch the cassette and put it back in my cassette pocket.
Perfect. Right in your pocket. At this point in time, it's a pointillist piece of art. One of the weirdest things that happens first is this dude right in the corner, that guy, his head whips around and looks at you all. It's very terrifying. Then you see the Lounge McGee gets up, and all of a sudden you see all the dots of paint fly off the canvas, and now they're just sort of standing free floating in air. What would you all like to do?
Those bullets from the Matrix.
Kinda.
Ah.
I hawk up a cat ball, a hair ball. I hack it up because I've been giving myself a bath all night at the bar. And I hack it up. It's rather large. And I split it up in my hands and I say, "Here you are, slime balls. Some friends of yours." So I should roll for that, my deathly.
Yes, you should. Roll deathly. And are you just going to whip the slime ball at the paint?
I will describe as such.
Okay, great.
But yes, essentially.
If you hit an 8, you'll whip aforementioned slime straight into the paint.
Oh, a 7! Curses! Curses! Curse these dice that I have! Curse them! Oh!
You go to just really just lob it straight at there. But unfortunately, it's a hairball that's sort of more viscous than anything else, and so it just sort of slides down your arm, and it gets on your suit coat.
It came out of my mouth. Oh, and it's all over me now. And it's a little. Can I say a little bit got caught in my teeth right here? And I'm like, it's not coming out. It's
still connected. Urian, you feel a rush of wind as a hunk of paint bullets go flying past your hair, and then they thud into the wall next to you. And crunching up. You hear the sound of crunching plaster. What would you like to do now?
Are there more coming?
They're it looks like sort of free floating and like ticking over towards you.
Oh, then I'll attempt to open and catch them in a brandy flask, uttering my sharp knowledge from the arcane found on eBay illiterate journals of Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Obviously add in a dice for your eldritch talent. This is going to be exquisite if you're catching paint.
Oh, gotcha. This will
I'm
be a
gonna
challenge.
say 10 because you're just trying to catch some.
All right, that's only 2. That was a 3 and a 3.
Yeah, so you do catch a few drops of paint potentially in the flask, but more importantly, you're just hit right in the chest. You go flying down the hallway. You knock over the urn that Cafese was standing
that's
next.
priceless.
Cafese, you try to catch it, and it just.
No.
I felt something.
And Sasha, you come up the stairs just in time to see Vinyl standing in front of a row of paint bullets. But before we find out what happens, we're going to flash back downstairs. Midnight Counter, you've counted all of the tiny pieces of furniture in this room. How many are there?
There are precisely, because I'm also counting the little floor tiles, there are precisely 2,349.
You're surprisingly calm, actually, for having just been shrunken down to size and placed into a false house. And then you feel sort of a little tug sensation sort of on the back of your collar. And the next thing you know, your feet are again kicking off the ground. And all of a sudden, you're back normal size.
Oh.
You're standing. The ghost of Narcissa Black or Narcissa Thorn is still standing in front of you, but you have been joined by the bartender from the Neo.
Oh.
He's standing there looking remarkably like myself, except with better hair and better looking and a little bit more waterproof eyeliner.
Sure.
And she says, well, seems like you're in a bit of a pickle here. But honestly, Narcissa, I think you've had your time. The company's failed, and so have you. And she reaches forward and puts a hand on the ghost's shoulder, and you hear an ear-shattering scream.
Ooh.
The entire room splinters. You see poofs of tiny fragments of wood and fabric go flying through the air. All the models wreck. You're spinning it down left and right.
It's a beautiful room.
There's a dispersal of air, and it's just the two of you standing there.
Me and the bartender?
What do you like to do? You and the bartender.
First off, I'd like to say thank you so much, bartender. I appreciate you helping me out.
Well,
Bartender.
who's gonna play our sets if you are trapped in a room?
That's true. The drummer can't do it alone. You need the piano guy.
No.
Dare I say a piano man? Dare. I would like to ask the barkeep, are you also a spirit? Is that how I've been talking to you? Because I have that power. I can communicate with the dead.
Now, could a spirit do this? And then she produces from out of nowhere a bunch of glasses and starts to juggle them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she lobs one at you. You catch it. It's a real glass.
Oh, cool. Oh.
See? Great. We need to get you behind the bar. I could use a good bar back. No, don't. I mean,
well, hang on. I'll get the ice.
Spirits? Aren't we all really spirits at the end? And she trots off the stairs. What would you like to do?
Wonderful. I say, thank you, barkeep. I'll keep this fine glass. And I hold on to it. And then I hear the trouble from upstairs with the painting coming alive, and so I use my door-finding powers and find an elevator that takes me up to where my comrades are in trouble. I like to go join them and see if I can help out.
Absolutely. You managed to notice that there is indeed a service elevator that is totally overlooked. You pop in, ding, it's there, ready and waiting, and the doors open. And you see the doors open basically right on Vinyl, standing in front of a wall of paint. Sasha has just sort of crept up the stairs. Cafese is looking at the wreckage of this beautiful heirloom vase that he failed to catch. And Urian is smashed into a wall looking dazed. Vinyl, you're under threat right now. What would you like to do?
I'd like to duck and miss the paint, and then I'm assuming the painting is what's emanating the evil. So I'd like to curse it with the worst curse I know.
Oh.
Okay.
My dark power.
Roll 2. We'll get back to the curse. Is that your talent or is that your dark power?
I believe that's my dark power.
Okay. Yes, it is. Okay, so we will come back to what the curse sounds like, but first let's see how successful this duck is of yours. So roll for Exquisite, and yeah, I would say if you're just trying to duck it, get a 7. You really just need to hit the ground.
A 4.
Ooh, your doom's going up too. You try to hit the ground, but unfortunately, your hat gets nailed forward. You hear a crunching noise, and you realize, oh God, it's the cassette tapes. And as you try to curl in to guard the tapes, you land badly on your shoulder, and you can just feel it's definitely out of socket or hurt.
Ouch!
But there's still time for you to curse this painting. What would you like to? What does a curse look like?
I pull my cassette tapes. I pull the magnetic strips out.
Yeah.
Into sort of like you do that thing with the string.
Yeah.
Like catches it.
A cat's cradle, I believe.
Yeah, a cat's cradle.
Yeah.
And I cat's cradle it. And then they surge with dark energy, and I yell through them to amplify my curse. I say, I would go out tonight, but I haven't got a thing to wear. I would go out tonight. And I just scream, and the music, through my throat, through the electromagnetic, enhances it.
Yes. So it immediately begins to vibrate, and of course, imbued with the power of a non-problematic, pre-troublesome Morrissey, right, with the Smiths, you immediately watch as the air, like you can see the canvas starts to sort of stretch, and it rips, and all the paint that's been floating in the air slams back onto the painting, and collapses, and it cracks, it falls to the ground. A work of art is damaged, but you are safe.
Priceless.
Everyone's back together. What would you all like to do?
I shrink them all.
No.
I thought she was.
That's how that works. I shrink them all. I'm haunted by a demon. And that demon is Narcissa Knee Blackthorn. And she has given me the power, like through her, to shrink these guys and recreate her mini room.
Okay, so you want to try to shrink everyone. Okay. I will say roll for Deathly.
Deathly's my worst.
You're going to have to beat a 15 because you're trying to shrink everyone.
I got a 1.
Tell me what it looks like when you attempt to curse them. Tell me what the attempt looks like first.
So I raise my hands and I do the summoning again, and this time I'm summoning Narcissa. I say, Narcissa, let your legacy continue through me. And then I throw my hands forward and I throw the power that I feel coursing through my veins at these guys, and that's it. I mean, nothing happens. A lot of buildup, no payoff.
And this is where I stand there and I say, "What are you doing? what was that? Are you working with somebody?"
Guys, I have to say, don't trust Sasha. She really boned me, not in the fun way, downstairs.
Oh, that's not cool.
No, not cool.
No.
Yeah.
Not cool, Sasha. Very uncool of
Absolutely
you.
nothing happens. As you all are standing, sort of debating whether or not to trust Sasha, Vinyl, you see all of a sudden the magnetic tape on your hands starts to vibrate. You feel it getting sort of hotter and hotter, and then suddenly it lifts up off your hands. It transforms, spins through the air into a pair of handcuffs. And lock instantaneously around Sasha's hands, and you can hear reverberating in the room the sound of the sacred words. The man said, "It's gruesome that someone so handsome should care," and you know in that instant that Morrissey has been here. You've been blessed by the spirit of Morrissey.
Although that's a very good look on you.
Sasha, you're restrained. You can't move your arms anymore. Everyone, you're standing around. What would you all like to do?
As I hear, as much as I would imagine, do I see the spirit of Morrissey still there, or did we merely feel the presence as the things came there?
You feel his ethereal presence. You feel him, but you cannot see him. Yeah.
Gotcha.
As is always the case.
Then rising out of me, almost unbidden, like a spurt of arterial blood, comes my own dark essence out towards the what holds my companion fast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my deathly essence, affecting the web of probability around what holds my person who I owe a debt to, Crymore.
Okay. Great. So Sasha's really she's in it now. You all hear the sounds just beyond you of folks. It sounds like bickering, right? You hear like, "Well, do you think that they're coming down here?" "Well, I don't know. You should be quiet. I mean, at the end of the day, if they find us," you hear sort of the sound of bickering noises back and forth. What would you all like to do?
I think we should we should head towards the voices, the bickering voices.
Yeah, but we make.
I'm going to see if
her
my
go first.
deathly spirit.
Yeah, we make Sasha go first. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
we're going to make her go first.
I'm trying to free him from the hand. Oh, Sasha's in the handcuffs? Oh,
Sasha's,
sorry.
yeah, Sasha's tied up.
Never
yeah.
mind.
You're fine, Urine.
Thank you.
Well, I've been waiting to die anyway, so why the hell not?
I mean, I think we're doing you a favor.
Move it, Rock Lady.
I was so confused.
Yes, you boldly move forward. At the same time, I feel like you're maybe trying to like slowly pull a little shard of quartz from your sleeve to get yourself loose. You all turn a corner, and you're standing in the American wing. It's very quiet in here. You can't hear much of anything, and you're standing just sort of looking at all these classics from American art. And it seems like all of a sudden there was talking, but now it's just really quiet. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna push Sasha forward. Keep going. We don't have time to look at any of this. Keep walking. Stop stalling. This is beautiful art, but we don't have time for this.
We got to find those voices, the bickering voices.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I want to move forward. I'll see if what the dead have to say to me as I move around. Although I know they're apt to say something. They're not apt to say anything useful, but I'll just listen for them.
You hear some noise starting to come from, of all places, the painting of American Gothic.
Oh.
Them again.
Yeah.
Again.
So you look over and you feel like, wait a minute, like we heard something, but they're just standing there.
And I'll be like, do you wish to tell me where this corn syrup woman is, or
Flour.
flour? So, or do
Butt
you
flour?
No,
do you
corn.
really
Oh,
wish to
corn.
talk to me about farm futures?
At which point in time, the woman in the painting goes, "See, damn it, Ned, just tell them they're looking for that young girl. Just tell them where it's going, and they'll take care of it, and then everything will be calm again. Wait, boy, you wearing makeup?"
No, this deathly pallor is all my own. Did I tell you I was buried alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you can't about it. I mean, I swear to God.
Oh, you mentioned on the ride
you
over
think I
here.
talk more about
I mean,
cat face than you talk about being
you
buried.
want to tell us again?
American Gothic, please speak to us. Have you heard of this cornflower and the other one?
Oh, well, and then the guy in the photo was like, "Well, some little girl with the hair a lot like yours came running through over that direction." And he points to another wall of paintings, notably Nighthawks.
Nighthawks.
At the diner.
I was just there.
Yeah, so points in that general direction at Nighthawks. He's like, "Well, good luck finding whatever you're finding." And he stops you, Cafe, and says, "Hey there, sir. You're a mighty fine dresser."
Oh, thank you. Yes, I don't spend much effort. You're talking to me?
Well, you too, young man, but the man that looks like he's got a little kitten face.
Oh,
That's a mighty
yes.
interesting configuration of facial hair that you got
Thank
there,
you.
young man.
I was about to be very self-conscious. I constantly feel like I'm on for every occasion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a full-length coat. It touches the floor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it says to me, this is a man that knows how to dress himself, even though he's got a tail.
Thank you. It was quite a thing to ask a tailor to ruin so many of my suits for my tail to fit through.
Well, you look great.
Go on. Could I have a cup of coffee?
Actually, Heathen is like, "Well, try the diner just down the hall."
Oh, you can see he's got the finest tailor. I believe it's French made. You can see the fleur de lis.
Oh.
Sasha, you have managed to tear through the magnetic tape around your hands. You can. Oh, she's free. What would you like to do?
I want to try to shrink these guys. I feel like I figured it out. Like the first time I didn't do it right. This time.
Great.
I had wrapped my deathly aura around her, and so I want something to happen if this doesn't go entirely right.
Yes, so imbued with the power of your deathly aura, Sasha, you can now roll with deathly. You can add one more die. Are you trying to shrink all of them?
No, just Urian.
Just Urian. Great. Roll with deathly plus one more because he has a deathly aura.
I inadvertently helped you.
Thank you.
You need to hit a 10.
Oops, hold on. I did it wrong.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
I think she's cheating.
All right, nope. There we go. I got a 7.
Great. Show us again what this attempt looks like.
Narcissa, don't abandon me. Can you hear me this time? Shrink.
Did you just say shrink?
And nothing happens. Damn it. I really
Gothic
tried
King is
harder, and
laughing at you.
Yeah.
it was nothing.
Yeah.
Another big buildup.
I'm just covered in dust.
A big cut and a whiff.
Urian, the darkly aura that swirled around her is still there. What is it doing right now to Sasha?
it's basically moving around her like a clingy boyfriend saying, "Spend more time with me. Why don't we? I think we're the one. Don't you know that we're meant to be together forever?"
No!
Sasha, your head is immediately filled with the voices of every person that you tried to ghost who kept showing up at your work saying, "Oh, I just happened to be in the neighborhood and looking for anthracite." "Oh, really? Oh, I didn't realize that you had a giant chunk of pyrite. Ooh, is that igneous? I've been looking for that." You know that.
God help me.
Consumed in this moment. You're temporarily distracted. The rest of you all are standing in front of Nighthawks. You notice of import there is one extra figure in the painting. What would you all like to do other than the usual standard 3?
I don't notice it. I look at the painting and I just say, "This looks fine. Like, I don't know what's going on. What are we supposed to see here?" Because I'm not very observant, despite my
having earlier
eyes.
previously asked for coffee, you notice that the server dude actually spins around and reaches up a tiny little cup of coffee towards you. What would you like to do?
Oh, I'm very thrilled, and in my excitement, I accidentally pinch too hard with my little my nails. I like, "Oh yeah, God, thank you," and I break the cup. Ooh. 1,000 apologies. Can I get another?
Yeah, he reaches down, he lifts up another one, holds it towards you.
And
He says,
this
"Why
one,
didn't you come in? Go ahead and just come in."
Catface, be careful.
Well, I mean, it's a painting. What else could go wrong? I walk towards the painting to go in, because again, not sharp. And I go in because I really want this cup of coffee.
Yeah. You go to take a step forward, and where your head should slam directly into the canvas, you thump. You're inside. You're standing just outside the diner.
I walk in jauntily and just do, and I go up to the bar. I'm like, "Hey, so that cup of coffee is my size now."
And the waiter goes, "Well, yeah, of course it is, sir. I mean, just special for you. Also, we've got waffles on special tonight. Ah, 4 for 25 cents."
I'm in. I'll take 2 waffles.
He slides you a cup of coffee and heads to the back. You notice everyone else is there. You notice a teenage girl, lots of piercings, bright yellow hair, is standing at the counter going, "Oh God, can you get me out of here, please?"
Me? Oh, I mean, it's the door's right. The door was. Maybe. I think I can. I will do my best. But I'm going to eat these waffles. Are they good? I got 2.
Oh.
Do you want to share?
No,
Is that a lot?
No, the
I'm
food's no,
hungry.
it's great. No, it's wonderful. I've been honestly.
I was dancing a lot
special.
earlier.
It's great.
Okay.
Wait, so are you planning to stay here for a few minutes then?
Well, it takes like 15, 20, just eat the waffles and and I might get a second cup of coffee. The coffee is tasty.
Oh, it's great. You really should. I'm just going to step out for a second. You just go ahead and sit down.
Oh, you hanging out? Do you have to go to the restroom or something?
Yeah, I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Okay,
During this time, I count midnight counter is like waving to the girl to come out of the cafe to come talk to me and Vinyl and Urine. Come on out, girl.
She leaves. Cafe, you sit down. These waffles are fantastic. They're just perfectly crispy. The syrup is delightful. More importantly, the woman in the red dress looks over at you and goes, "That is the finest suit I think I have ever seen, and I cannot decide if it is the man cat that's wearing it or the suit. But either way, this is just a look. This is, I mean, you might, part of me wants to say, could it be more extreme? No, this is perfect.
Oh, that is very kind of you. I'm constantly worried. I'm like, it's all me. I just can't stop
And
worrying.
the guy in the fedora takes his hat off and goes, actually, it's almost perfect. He puts it on your head. And you erupt in tears, but
that is lovely. Oh, little feather.
And I can smell the waffles, so I jump into the painting too. And I say, hey there, barkeep, food keep. I want eggs, runny, bacon, burnt, and toast, endless. And I sit down next to Kat, and I just make a meal of it.
yeah, you tuck in. As you jump in, you notice that the young girl with the bright yellow hair is sort of like, oh, you're saying too? Great! And she immediately leaps out of the painting. At which point in time, she is standing in front of you all, midnight counter and Urian going, one of them has to stay in there forever. I need to go. It's been a weird day.
You do what? Oh, Urian, go ahead.
Wait, Urian. We need to dispel whatever you've created. So if there's a book that you have, perhaps we could take it from you, or close it, or end the incantation.
And she whips open a messenger bag and pulls it out and just throws it. It's like, just take the damn thing. I got it from this crazy old lady. She was hot, but in a crazy way. At which point in time,
this crazy old lady.
I was gonna say, Sasha, hearing a compliment, you managed to then just tune out finally all of the bad juju. And you're back, and you recognize the teenager that you sold the book to. What would you like to do now that you're free?
Shrink her! I swear.
Great.
I think I've got it. Third time's a charm.
Okay. Great. Yep. With practice, add an additional dice.
Hold on.
Roll.
Okay, hang on. Here we go.
Roll a 10.
I have a 15.
You rolled with deathly?
Oh, no, but I have, hold on then. Hang on a second.
And then I also order one of those waffles because they smell so good.
Hey, very good.
I mean, they're just perfect.
I've been skimming through the book trying to find the counter spell.
You want the book? Yep. I'll give you the book.
Keep flipping.
Thank you.
I
Thank
have
you,
a 7 though. I have a 7.
Great. Show me again what it looks like.
Okay.
Try to shrink her.
It's got to be one hand at a time. I'm warming this one up. I'm warming this one up. I'm warming it up. I'm warming it up. I'm warming it up. It's like a speed bag. That's what it is. It's a speed
warm
bag.
this coffee up.
As she's doing that, I found the counter spell to put things back to normal and get rid of all the blue people and re-raise the students. I'd like to try that spell if that's possible.
Yeah,
Nothing's happening.
A couple things happen at once. Basically, you hear a sudden boom, sort of like a loud dooming noise in the back of your mind, Sasha. And you see coming up the stairs is the bartender, who you've seen and you're familiar with. And she walks up to you and she's like, "Oh, Sasha, this is fun. This is fun. This little repartee, this thing that you have going. But I think
I'm gonna get it.
You know where you really need to go, and I think you know who you've been looking for this whole time." And she makes deep and sustained eye contact with you. Are you ready to really fall in love?
Mm-hmm. No. No.
Well, too bad. And she grabs you. And you immediately turn into a crow and perch very lovingly on the shoulder of the bartender. Now, at the same time, so Midnight Counter, you have counted the appropriate elements, and you are almost halfway through the spell. You're ready. You're like, this is it. This is going to return everything to normal. When you hear a creaking noise, and you turn around, and this figure comes walking towards
Oh, good heavens.
And
no.
Cornflower goes, that is the portrait of Dorian Gray, and apparently we summoned his spirit, and he just haunts people and he kills them.
Oh boy.
So have fun. And she takes off running. And this gross, disgusting, like pockmarked dude is sort of stepping and like crunching towards you 1 foot at a time. Midnight Counter, what would you like to do?
I like to use my dark powers and question this demon. Figure out what we can do to stop him.
Great. He looks at you and says, "Nothing can stop me. I have come to take souls. I am here. I am no Dorian Gray." At which point in time, the bartender steps forward and says, "This is all gotten a bit out of hand, don't you think?" And she waves a hand.
Oh.
And the painting dissipates.
I was going to say we can cure with the power of music.
Oh.
And
He looks like my father, who overdid it on the hand sanitizer, all over.
Yeah. And she looks at you and goes, "Oh, Midnight, I don't. You're great for a cover band. You're great for a cover band, but maybe."
I get it. I feel like more of a poser than anything. I understand.
No, I just wonder maybe if you started writing your own material. I think maybe it's just you're not putting enough heart into it. Yeah, I feel like you following your heart is probably the best thing.
Okay. Should I start with parodies and then go from there?
I love that idea.
Thank you.
I love that.
Fridays, I'm in love, but
then,
fries spell like the food, fries.
And she starts laughing hilariously.
Oh, good.
She clicks her heels together, and the two of you that are not in a painting and not a crow are magically transported back to the Neo Bar. And the crime has been solved, and she goes back to just sort of cleaning the counter. Yeah, she's like, well, at the end of the day, this has been a real fun time, guys. Death finally had her day.
Oh. And I asked the waiter what time lunch starts.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right after
2
breakfast.
months later. Tell me where all of your characters are right now. Give me the update.
The Midnight Counter still goes to Neo Bar, but he's been writing his own cover songs and also has tried a few original songs, all in the vein of The Cure, but they're a little more upbeat and fun.
You recently got an email from a Weird Al Yankovic, who you haven't really heard much from, but you feel like he's been asking to write songs together.
And I'm going to move to LA, baby, and we're going to give this music career a shot.
I love it. Great. Who's next?
Urian has decided to take the reveries of the dead and use them to start writing his own poetry and participating in open mics and poetry slams.
You are a sensation, particularly in Wicker Park, because it was still defunct then. Yeah, you're doing great. Most of the time you can tell whether or not you're talking to a dead person or not. It's fantastic.
I feel a certain sense of crushing ennui every time I realize the crass commercialism that is the Flatiron Building.
Indeed. Gentlemen who we left in the painting, where are you all now?
It should be so much more.
Oh, I'm still there, and I keep ordering coffee because it goes cold a little too fast. So I just keep ordering new cups of coffee, but I keep going. These waffles, man. These waffles keep me here. and I just never feel full. So I'm always eating waffles and ordering fresh cups of coffee. But I also kind of look around every now and then and go, who are those people in the window? and I can see all of the museum. But I don't realize where I am. I'm just kind of chill about it. I'm just like, okay, this is where I am. I'm in an eternity of waffles and coffee.
And you're still making the hat work. You look great. It looks great on you. It looks great.
I take it off because it's very hot. It's inside. It's rude to wear a hat inside.
I've mastered the art of paint jumping. So I stay in the museum, but mainly I visit American Gothic and help tend to the horses. The very first car.
Yeah, you've also notably influenced their aesthetic as well. Folks notice a change. And finally, Sasha the Crow. How does it feel to be a crow?
I escaped your shoulder and I flew away. The end.
You did fly away. The bartender was notably very, very sad about it. Was having sort of a rough day, and then one day a patron came in, a guy by the name of Neil, very anxious to chat with the bartender and listen to all of her stories. But most importantly,
I get it.
crime was solved. Exquisite crime was solved.
I don't get it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Who's Neil?
Yeah.
Another case solved.
I mean, it's fine.
Close the book.
To the painting.
What their hearts wanted. Guys, this has been one shot. This has been something, is what it has been. We are still running for the next couple of weeks, although who knows if anything will be quite as silly as this. Once again, I want to thank all of our fantastic players, Kat Gotzik, Josh Segovia, Rob Grabowski, the mayor. He can refund your parking tickets. Keith Whipple and the cat man himself, Lee Russell. This has been a genuine delight. Among Us is going to start in just a few moments.
I'm a cat.
I don't know if it'll involve cat humans. We can only hope. It's been a joy. I'm your bartender, at least for the evening. Death, otherwise known as Susan Harmon. This has been great. Good night. Have a good one.